Welcome to People, Power, and Politics. Hard talk, riveting interviews, community updates, in-depth analysis. That's People, Power, and Politics. We tell it to you as it is. No holds barred. You are the people, you have the power. We bring you the politics. To listen to our show, be a guest, or to advertise, visit www.pppradio.nyc. That's www.pppradio.nyc.
Following President Biden's decision to leave the 2024 race, members of the Democratic Party nationwide are voicing their support for the new presumptive nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris. Joining us today is Whitaker, a former White House presidential appointee who served as senior advisor for New York State for the Biden-Harris 2020 victory campaign, political strategist, and fundraiser. A former CEO of Planned Parenthood Empire State and an active leader in local and national politics spheres, Ms. Whitaker was a member of the team that elected Barack Obama to the White House, and she had the privilege of introducing President Obama at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, which was captured in an Emmy Award-winning HBO documentary about the historic venue, which is now streaming on Prime. These are exciting times. Welcome. So good to have you. Project 2025, a dark cloud. Can you explain what it is and why we should prevent it from happening?
Wow. If you don't know, please Google Project 2025 from your cell phone or your computer. Project 2025 is a presidential transition project that was created by the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is pretty much the ones that are backing the move to take over our Supreme Court and the move to remove all of our rights and freedoms. The aim of it is to promote a collection of conservative and right-wing policy proposals that would reshape the United States federal government and consolidate executive power into one sole person, Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is elected, there is a 900-page instruction manual that would pretty much outline what they would do in the first 180 days to get rid of federal civil servants and replace them with political appointees, meaning their friends. It would gut all of our Department of Education. It would gut our Department of Justice. It would gut our Federal Bureau of Investigation. It would gut the Federal Communications Commission, the Federal Trade Commission, Homeland Security. It would end any policies around environmental or climate change regulations in favor of fossil fuels. And pretty much it would end any Medicaid, Medicare, and health care for anyone that they don't deem necessary or worthy of those services. It would remove diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and affirmative action programs across the country. And it would allow them to arrest, detain, and deport immigrants in place of capital punishment for those who try to enter our borders without their approval. And that is just the highlights of it. So the other side of this ticket, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have committed that if they are elected, that is the playbook that they will implement. I find that scary. I find that to be an existential threat. And it's why I'm even more excited about getting out the vote to elect Vice President Harris as the first woman of color president of these United States of America.
So you mentioned different aspects of Project 2025 and how concerned should persons be? Because one may say, okay, it's probably not going to affect me, but given some of the things that we've seen in the previous administration when Trump was president and some of the things he continues to say and what is being done, can you give some real scary examples to wake people up to Project 2025?
Sure. In our communities, often we rely on emergency rooms. I know that there was a huge debate recently about the closing or potential closing of hospitals here in Brooklyn and access to health services. Project 2025 would allow a sole dictator to close any emergency room or hospital in any community of color at any point. without going through any sort of review process or community discussion. Here we just saw recently when there was a threat to closing a hospital, Senator Zelnor Myrie and others activated to push back with the governor and to make sure that those services remained in the community. That process would not take place. Often we see here congestion pricing just happened. There were many community sessions held so that people could come out and give, their thoughts on whether congestion pricing would be helpful or hurtful to New Yorkers' wallets and to the economy. Things like that would not happen. We send our kids to school, many of us as parents. If a teacher taught or referenced or even said a word of something that they thought fell into DEI or was promoting alternative lifestyles or having kids think about more concretely and critically aware of how race and history have played a role in communities of color, they could arrest that teacher and put them in jail at any point in time.
So basically, we would be in a society where Trump is king and whatever he says.
And we are peons.
Okay. And we've already seen that he has asked for immunity being president, so that's just going to take it to a...
Just setting the stage for what comes next. I would say if anybody's ever read, any of these books, 1984, The Handmaid's Tale, think of all of those mixed together in like a gumbo or like a Creole pot of stew, and then take it up a notch. So it's your worst nightmare of whatever TV show you've ever seen. The Purge, I don't know. We've got lots of different listeners of different age. Pick whatever that movie is about all your rights and freedoms being removed and you being pretty scared about waking up in the morning. It's that.
Wow. So what can we do to make sure that Project 2025 doesn't see the light of day?
Donate to Kamala Harris for president. Volunteer at newyorkforharris.com. Tell your friends and neighbors that their rights and freedoms are on the ballot and they must vote in 2024. And they must vote for Kamala Harris and Democrats up and down the ballot without exception. And then turn their ballot over and vote for the New York State Equal Rights Amendment if you're here in New York.
Are we going to have a scary movie in real life called Project 2025?
Not if we do our black jobs.
Yeah. No, I'm saying if we don't do that, we're going to have that scary movie in real life.
Yes.
Project 2025.
I think our ancestors will be coming up to rise in rebellion if we don't get out the vote. So there's a couple of things that people can do to take action immediately if you are interested in volunteering, and that includes making calls, texting, knocking doors, writing postcards. Please visit our volunteer grassroots effort, www.newyorkforharris.com. And if you have the means to give $1,000 or $1, please consider making a contribution to Harris for President. All of those funds count, and it will pretty much provide the support that's needed to hire the staff to do the work to win this November.
Okay, so get out the vote. November the 5th, 2024. That's the day in history. Thank you so much, Nye Whitaker.
Thank you.
People, Power, and Politics. Hard talk, riveting interviews, community updates, in-depth analysis. That's People, Power, and Politics. We tell it to you as it is. No holds barred. You are the people, you have the power. We bring you the politics. To listen to our show, be a guest, or to advertise, visit www.pppradio.nyc. That's www.pppradio.nyc.